Okay, we are live now.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to you all. I'm your host Aishwarya Bhardwaj, bringing to you all another webinar session on education with Anna Jury. Before I begin, here's a brief about the team Anna Jury to our new audiences who are with us in this beautiful evening today. Anna Jury means the bond of love. It signifies unconditional love, and it is the bond of unconditional love that brought back Milind Datta sir, who's the founder of Anna Jury, from USA to his native land, Assam, to start this organization, Anna Jury, in 2018, which engages and promotes various initiatives that are striving for social change, owning leadership skills, and building entrepreneurship capabilities in Northeast, including Assam. For the past few months, we have been engaging with speakers from various fields via virtual media to create a network among the people working in the region. So for today's webinar session, we're going to discuss a very important topic, which is building on success stories and failures, pathways to youth empowerment. So here we have Mr. Biswajeet Desa. Thank you, sir, for joining us in today's webinar session. And Mr. Biswajeet Desa is the founder president of Wild Roots and is an experienced designer, environment educator, and a youth mentor. He likes to work with young students of schools and colleges all over the world. He is a member of International Union for Conservation of Nature, CEC, and also won a prestigious award, national award from the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India, and is also the recipient of the Global Teacher Accreditation Award from the British Council and University of Cambridge. Thank you, sir. Over to you, sir. Now you can show the PPT and
Good evening.
start.
Good evening, and thanks to Anna Jury and also thanks to Aishwarya and Gitishmita for bringing me to this fantastic platform, where we can have a discussion about education and youth empowerment. Because I think in today's time, particularly during the trying times after the COVID-19 pandemic, there is a new perspective which has opened up in front of our eyes. Because I would begin my presentation by just telling you about a very funny incident. When I was in class 5, there was a CBSE inspector who had visited my school, and he had asked the class, can you all give me an example of globalization? So during that time, I was the only one who raised up the hand, and I had given the answer of industrial revolution. So I got a pat on my back, and everyone appreciated me that in my class 5, I could tell them a fantastic example of globalization, which was industrial revolutions. But I thought of, since I'm working with schools and colleges, I thought of doing the same exercise in one of the schools of Guwahati, which is Sanskriti the Gurukul. I had been there as a external examiner for some examinations. And I thought of stepping into the class 5 and asking them the random question that what do you think about globalization? So I stepped in the classroom, and there were some fantastic students, 30-35 students in front of me. And I asked the same question, what do you think about globalization? So I was surprised, everyone raised their hands. During my time, I was the only person who could raise my hand and answer the question. But this time, all of them had raised their hands, and they said COVID-19 pandemic. So I couldn't agree anymore. So to them, globalization has become the COVID-19 worldwide pandemic that has brought the entire world together. So I think that the perspectives are this is just to give you an example. It's a very funny example I would start off with. And it's not a PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to show, but a series of images which I'm going to share with you all. And is it visible? Can you see the image?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is where my journey of life had started. So I was born like in a very old family in Calcutta. Right, this is our house, like which is almost 350 years old, and it is one of the first houses of Calcutta. And if you could see the address given over here, it says Ek Number Badi, like which means that it was one of the first houses to come up in Calcutta when the three districts had merged together in Bengal. So this is our house, like the 350-year-old house, and this is how it stands. And this is where my journey of life had begun. So it was a sprawling joint family of 28 members, and like always, like it seemed like the entire house was like a mela. And now, unfortunately, there are not many members in this house, but this house was my first step into the world and the first step into youth empowerment and globalization, because it is from this family and house that I learned like how to tackle all the battles of life. Right, I'll share. Is it visible? Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So here's my first team. Like I have a privilege in life to work with, when I say youth and when I say youth empowerment, like my journey actually starts with the 6 to 7 year olds, and it goes up to PhD level students. So this is a fantastic group of students from one of the schools of Guwahati, like who are working with bird census. So this group works with me and prepares the chart of all the migratory birds that come to Povitara Wildlife Sanctuary every year. So don't go by their sizes. So these people are empowered enough, and they can do the research of scientific levels, and they can do research like which can be done by MSc and PhD level students, because they can make maps, they can use GIS softwares, like they can even tell you like which bird comes around which time. So they know everything. So this is how my journey of empowerment has begun. So there is a vast variety and diversity of students which I get in Northeast India right now. Like I'm based in Guwahati, and it has been 17 years of wonderful journey in Guwahati. And I started working with rural schools and urban schools to empower the students. So as it goes, like I was telling you about our like illustrious family, like if you ever go to Calcutta, like my grandfather had built the structures like the Birla Planetarium, the second Hooghly Bridge, so all these structures. So he used to be a very celebrated architect during that time. And so being in a family of architects, engineers, and artists, like it is actually a greater responsibility which I was suddenly given, like when I was born in this family. But the only thing is that, as you see here, you can see like Indira Gandhi, like looking at one of the models, initial models of the second Hooghly Bridge built by my grandfather, like late Binoy Bhushan Dev. So here's my mother. So when we speak about empowerment, like we should speak about our parents, right? So here's my mother, like who's a national awardee, and like she used to work with restoration of paintings in the Indian Museum at some point of time, and she was a graduate from the Government School of Art and Craft. And I'll share some of her paintings. Like she's an ace painter, and she's a fantastic watercolor painter, and like she does some fantastic paintings, like even in the age of 69 years. Like these are some of the paintings like which you can see in the Museum of Natural History in Washington, DC, and also in the London Museum. So my mother has like 2 galleries over there, and we send photographs and paintings every year to renew the gallery. So these are some of her paintings. So I'll also show a photograph of my father. Like he used to be there in advertising field, and he's also an ace photographer, right? And he's one of the like most like old pioneers of black and white photography in India, like along with the celebrated photographers like Raghurai and all. So why I'm sharing the photographs of my parents and family, it's because of the fact that, see, when it comes to the seed of empowerment, like it all begins with your family, and it begins in your home. So I consider myself to be fortunate enough to be born in a joint family where the seeds of sharing, because I actually do not remember like having a bar of chocolate alone in my life, because whenever the guests used to come and hand over a bar of chocolate to me, like I used to break it up into pieces, like, and the numerous pieces used to go to my cousin brothers, sisters, and other people. So I've never had a bar of chocolate alone in my life. Like it was only like when I completed my college and when I went into job that I had the luxury of having a entire bar of chocolate in my life. So I think the seeds of sharing like begins the first saplings of empowerment in your life. I'll move on to this gentleman. Like if you could recognize this photograph, this is actually Satyajit Ray, the famous filmmaker. And Satyajit Ray used to be a fantastic artist also. And it is through art and design that I got associated with Satyajit Ray. And my first illustration assignment of my life was given by Satyajit Ray for the Sandesh magazine. So he was the first person to show me about filmography. He was the first person to show me about storyboarding. And this is how the journey began, because I personally seen him, like how he used to use the cameras and how he used to take the shots. So I used to visit some of his shooting also when I was really small. So I'm talking about when I was of the age of 7 to 8. So that's when I got associated with Satyajit Ray. So it was again through my family. So we shared an artistic legacy, both our families. So then began a journey of design and graphic design, animation, and storyboarding in the Mumbai film industry. So I went to Mumbai and I was there for about 11 years. But then, like being in Mumbai actually had given me a direction in life and had made my life much more organized. And again, the word empowerment was actually realized when I went to the city of Mumbai. So being there for 11 years had actually made me a more resilient person. It has actually made my life more sustainable, and an 11 years of journey of design had begun. So I'll share some of my own personal work also, like which came as a result of these are the kind of cartoons that I make. Like this was made during the Dehing Patkai coal mining incident, like in Northeast, because Dehing Patkai Wildlife Sanctuary was facing a threat. It's still facing a threat from the illegal coal mining and all. So these are kind of cartoons that I make. Like these are the kind of illustrations that I make. And if you see the cartoons, like it's all inspired by the works of celebrated cartoonists like Mario Miranda, R.K. Lakshman, and all. So because like they used to be my guru at some point of time, like when I was in Mumbai working in the industry. I'll share more of my work. Like this is a project that like we had done with UNICEF. So UNICEF asked me to create illustration with Indian butterflies, like for the Independence Day. So then I came up with this design where like I had drawn the butterflies following the tricolor of the Indian flag. This is again another illustration for deforestation. This is an illustration that shows like how nature and technology, they are fighting with one another. So these are the kind of illustrations that we use for communications design, like for wild roads. This is a very like appropriate and pertinent cartoon for the Northeast India, because the tiger is losing on its habitat, and you can see how the construction is happening and how the hills are being cut and the stones are being mined and smuggled to some other countries. So the tiger is in peril. So this kind of communication based illustrations is something that we really work on, and these are my frequent works. So just scrolling through some of the drawings, like just randomly, and going to the next phase. Yes. So when Aishwarya was giving a really long introduction of mine, like she was telling you that like when I work with youth empowerment, I work with both city schools and village schools. Like this is a fantastic bunch of students from a school in Ranthambore Tiger Reserve in Rajasthan, like with whom like I work during the month of July every year. And these are certain things which like actually these are the for certain things which actually like enhance my own abilities to connect with the community, because I think like when it comes to empowerment, like your community connection plays a very important role. So you should give a lot of emphasis on that. The more you connect with the communities, the more you identify their own identities and diversities, and you try to identify yourself with their problems and try to find out means and ways in which you can find out collective solutions. So these are a bunch of students from Ranthambore. So coming to Northeast, like don't go by their size again. Like these are the kids from the Rani near the Rani Reserve Forest, like in Guwahati, like just outside Guwahati. So what are these students doing? They are actually charting. Like these students, like we have taught them to chart and make wildlife and nature journals through which they chart whatever insects, plants, butterflies they find all the year round. So they are doing the census every year. So what we do is like we go to the villages, we go to the government schools, small government schools, and train these students in some skills like which might help them in getting a job in future. So this is about nature journaling. Like this is their first stepping stones. This is their first entry into the world of journalism. Right here, they are drawing and writing down the details. Later on, what we do is like we go and give them small cameras to work with. Nowadays, even mobile phones are good enough to take cameras, to take photographs, and that's how we do it. This girl is Jyotishmita, like from the Rani River Reserve Forest, and she comes from a village, and she's an excellent artist. So there is the Vulture Research Center in Rani, like run by the Bombay Natural History Society, where we have art classes every Sunday. You can see how the students are engaged and how they enjoy their work. So this is again, like why I'm showing you this photographs is, like this is the first entry to empowerment. So today we are talking about youth empowerment. This is their first entry into empowerment, and look how serious they are. If we are able to provide them with the support in the long run of their life, like who knows, some people might be able to make it to the mainstream media also. They might be wildlife conservationists at some point of time. But remember, they are all coming from very financially struggling families. So we have to find the resource and means to sustain their interest in the long run of their life. These are some of the random photographs. And drawing with the community is something like which I do almost every day. Like it has become a part and parcel of my life. And then comes to traveling. So here I am traveling in Bhutan, and like I went to Bhutan, like I was invited by the government of Bhutan to connect with some of the schools in Bhutan. And like I had gone there to teach them something about art and design. But guess what? I got back learning more than them. I learned more things than I could teach them. So that's what my journey had been. So I think travel is a very important part of life when, again, empowerment is concerned. The more you travel, the more you connect with people, you actually find out like your own drawbacks in life. You actually find out like where you are struggling in your own life, and you might find the solution in some place, like which is totally unexpected. So when I went to Bhutan, and the forest, like walking through the forest early in the morning and taking a hike, like this is I think in Bobithora or Kaziranga, I don't remember. Like we were photographing some birds over there, because birding is a very interesting activity of my life. Like I do it almost every morning. Again, we got to connect with some schools in Kaziranga, near Kaziranga and Bobithora Wildlife Sanctuary, and we started teaching them something about art and design and how to connect with each other. So now I come to the empowerment of the programs that I run for the empowerment of the city schools. So these are the students who are coming from the city schools, and we are running camps almost every year, particularly during the winter months, like where we encourage students coming from every corner of India. See, right now, like I'm being empowered myself by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. So they have made me the country focal point, and also like I'm there in the International Steering Committee, and I'm getting the support from IUCN to create the Youth Fellowship Program, like which is soon going to be launched in India, like from this year itself. And like I would request, like if anyone is interested to be a part of it, like please contact me at some point of time. So this is going to be the largest youth empowerment program in India, in the sense like we are getting schools and colleges from almost every corner of India. And we are going to make something which is called a climate youth and climate fellowship coalition, which is actually not present in India. We do not have a youth group that represents India in the United Nations Climate Change Conference. We do not have a group like that goes to the IUCN World Congress to represent India. So we have to create a team which is an amalgamation of students which are coming from all corners of India. So this is what we are working on right now. Now coming to another tools of empowerment, like my father, Mr. Ranjan De, I'm also into photography. So photography is one of my both hobbies, and it has become a part and parcel of my job and life also. So I'm going to share this first photograph, like which got the first national award, and I got the award from the celebrated photographer Mr. Raghu Rai at one point of time. And this was the first moment like where I could discover my own abilities to channelize my thoughts through photography. So this is again another way like in which I discovered that I could use photography as a skill and empower the communities that I work with. I'll share some of my random photographs. Like these are very, like I'm always clicking. These are some interesting photographs, me sitting by the waterfall. So I was clicking for about like 5 to 6 years, like when I got spotted by the National Geographic at some point of time. And they invited me to be a part of one of their explorations to Australia. So I was a part of the National Geographic expedition to Australia, Outback and Wetland Survey. So then again, I discovered that, okay, like I was clicking randomly the photographs for all these years, but these photographs are actually telling a story. So when National Geographic told me that your photos are like quite good, and why don't you join us for an exploration trip to Australia? Like I was nothing like it. So this is my first experience and moment with a kangaroo in front of my eyes, and I could touch it. So imagine the immense amount of joy and excitement like that was going through my heart at this moment. Like there was a kangaroo like lying down just in front of me and basking in the sun, and I was sitting beside it. So in Australia, they gave me a lot of projects. Right, I was doing the bird survey in the cities. Like I was working around in the wildlife sanctuaries, and there are fantastic places in Australia to look at. So my job was to click photographs and write journals every day, and submit it to the National Geographic. So we made a journal when we made back, like when we returned back to India. Like you can also find me on TED at some point, because like I had been a TED speaker at some point of time. So I really enjoy being in these platforms, because they give me not only an opportunity to speak to people, but also learn a few things. So as Aishwarya was telling you, like I'm a part of the British Council Educators group. Like this was during the Generation UK program, which they launched a few years back. So like I'm a part of this fantastic group of educators worldwide, like who are working with the British Council and working for only youth empowerment, like in their own areas. Like they are science teachers, they're teachers of design and media like me. There are environmental engineers, there were environmental science teachers and English teachers, even language teachers, even teachers from the local vernacular languages like Assamese, Bengali, Hindi. So this is also a group where like I feel that when I be with them, like I could interact with them and learn more in every chapter of my life. So I had been to abroad like many times, like in conferences and working with some organizations. So this was a fantastic group in Kentucky, the younger nature reserve in US, like where we were working with youth empowerment with the American students coming from the universities. This is a very common sight. Like you might, like whenever, if you ever spot me in the city of Guwahati early in the morning, like I'll be surrounded with a lot of students of mine, and there will be cameras in hand, and most probably we'll be looking at some birds on top of the trees. This is a very common phenomenon. So these are some random like photographs from my, this is again a very like recent program that we are working with. See, this group of students are coming from Arunachal Pradesh. They are coming from the Pakke Tiger Reserve. So we are trying to create collaboration and encouraging a teamwork through the nature-inspired games. So if you have seen in the Northeast, like in the mountains, they bring water to their homes by cutting the pieces of bamboo. So these people are actually playing a very interesting game, which is inspired by that like bamboo irrigation system used to bring the waters from the streams to their houses. So I think I should stop now. Like let me stop now, and let's have a conversation now. Like till now, like I've shared a small chapter of how my life goes. So over to you, Aishwarya and Energy team.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your journey. It's really wonderful to see all these pictures and sharing your life journey and about your parents. So, sir, actually, you know, I mean, you are very privileged that your parents are such a, you know, they're giving you such an education that from this you have got into the your life. But how about the urban, rural area students? Uh, the parents, the education life, how will youth empowerment will help them?
Yeah.
Like you have.
So I think Aishwarya, the first thing that we should keep in mind in life, like I'll again tell you about an incident like where I met like His Holiness the Dalai Lama in the city of Guwahati, like during the year 2015, right? I could sit with him, and we had a man-to-man conversation, like where I had asked him about like what is the purpose of life, and when you are privileged like to be a part of a family, when you're privileged to be within the media and the design field, like it governs how your entire life is going to be. But as you are saying that in the rural areas, some of the people like who might not come from such celebrated backgrounds, right? They might need the empowerment. So here I should speak about the agents of change in life. See, when you're given a privilege in your life, like this is personally what I feel, and I feel it from my heart. Like when you are given certain privileges in life, when you are being blessed with certain skills in life, see, we are all blessed with certain different skills, isn't it? Like it's like a laptop that you buy with a pre-installed operating system, like Windows operating system. When we are born, we are already born with this Windows operating system inside us. Some of us can draw, some of us can dance, some of us can write well, some of us have this fantastic ability to communicate with the others. So we are privileged. So when I think like a certain class of people are privileged with certain facilities and backgrounds, I think it's not for us alone. So if you are privileged, I think that is for the others who are not privileged. So I think the beat of life, the way your life channelizes itself, like should be materialized and channelized in such a way that whatever you've got in your life, like should be shared with the people who do not have the privileges. So I think this answers your question. Like if in the rural areas where people are not privileged, we'll have to be the agents of change. Whatever we have in our life, like can't it be shared with the people who do not have it? I think that can be done. So this is something like which like I would request all of you, like when you're privileged with certain skills, when you're privileged with certain like there's an AC in your room, and you can sit comfortably when it's blazing. Like right now there are villages in India, in North India and Western India, like where West India, East India, everywhere, where there are people like who are dying due to the excessive amount of heat, right? But what can you do for them? Right? You cannot do anything for these certain class of people. But certainly there are ways in which you can share your own privileges with the underprivileged.
Thank you so much, sir. So another question I want to ask you: what is the biggest youth problem in India? I'm not talking about the world, but I'm talking about India. What is the biggest youth problem in India?
See, Aishwarya, like the biggest problem is nobody listens to the youth, right? And I get very disturbed, like when I get to hear comments like the youth are not doing anything, they're wasting their time. But before we ask the question, like whether the youth are wasting their time, like have we given them something to work with? Have we given them something like through which we can engage them effectively? So first, let us create the opportunity for the youth to express themselves. First, let us give the opportunity to the youth to engage themselves. And then we can think that, then we can come up with such comments that the youth is not doing anything. I think the youth of India, like we have such immense potentials. Like when I travel in various states of Northeast India, like the moment I step into Meghalaya, like I could hear one guitar or a flute playing at some corners. This is something which you will not get anywhere in India, right? I've been to many places in India, so I'm targeting only the Northeast now. So I think the greatest problem which the youth are facing in India is the spatial problem. Like they need space, and they need opportunities of expression, and they need opportunities of effective engagement, right?
So, but there's a problem within the family. I would say that if a child is gifted by, he can draw very nicely, he can illustrate, he have an amazing work experience by via drawing. But I think when the parents don't support them, how will they manage to get out of this, you know, complications within the family? Because it's very, even if the other friend supports them, or the teachers or the educational supports them, the family won't, as we know how conservative our society is. So how about those students who are gifted, like they're really gifted, but the parents or the family members are really like, no, you should go for only for education. For them, some of the family members are like, for them the education is like, you have to study, only study, nothing else. Like there are many students which are very gifted, like drawing, they have dancing skills and music, but they're not supported by the family. So how about those students, sir?
See, India has had its flip side, because when we go to the ancient times, like India used to be one of the richest cultures of the world, right? And if you look at education, like everything was balanced in India, like whether it was dance, whether it was art, whether it was music, whether it was academics. I think it's the demand of the society and also the demand of the job market and the structure which is built up, like that plays a very important role in the attitude of the parents also, right? But first, again, we'll have to create, like instead of fighting with them, we have to create the opportunities of expressions first. Let us first discuss with them, let us try to explain them, and let us first strive to change the job scenario in India. Because I think education, like why the parents are forcing everyone to get into academics these days, is the only fact that your academics, your marks, grades, that govern the kind of jobs that you're going to get, like in future. Our job sector is not yet skill based. Like there is a lot of emphasis on skill development, like a lot of skill development programs are happening, like many universities are like striving for it, many non-governmental and government organizations are also going for it. But when you are going for a skill development program, like what will happen after like getting empowered in some of the skill sets? Do we have the job market for it? So I think we have to change the socio-political scenario in such a way that the job market is actually recognizing the various diverse skills with which the students and the communities are blessed with. So then maybe we can convince the parents also, right? Please encourage your students. Like if someone is good in art, someone is good in writing poetry, like we do not have storytellers these days. Have you noticed one thing? Like we have made very small storytellers these days. Like nobody tells a story. Like you ask someone to tell a random story, they won't be able to tell you a story. We don't have storytellers, but we need storytellers in life. My grandma used to be a brilliant storyteller. Like my grandma had given me the entire, like the Ramayana and Mahabharata was illustrated in front of my very eyes when my grandmother used to read like 2-3 pages every day, right? We need storytellers also.
Yes, sir, definitely, sir. The world is very mechanistic now. There are no storytellers. The small children don't know about Mahabharata and Ramayana. Yes, actually, the students nowadays are more likely into social media, influencers, but that's okay. But they don't know about the Indian culture very much. As
Yeah.
Parents, actually, I would say parents, the new generation like us, we only don't appreciate them. Like we only don't put them into that interest so that they can be pursuing that. Oh, the Indian culture is so very rich. They're more into the Western culture. So that's another topic, sir. Um, so, what are the ways of empowering the youth? So,
Yes, I
like
think, yeah,
strategies,
yes,
strategies actually.
See, the principal strategy, like I've already told you, like the youth should be given a space to express themselves, right? And we have to take their voice very seriously. And I've seen the examples myself. Like I'll give you an example. Like when I went to Australia, Australia is currently facing a threat. The Great Barrier Reef, the Great Coral Reefs of Australia, they're facing a number of threats due to the rise in sea level and also the rise in temperature of the seas, right? So the coral reefs are getting destroyed. See, I met a 7-year-old girl from a particular school, like who came up with a very weird idea. Like in her school, like she was in school and in her science project, she suddenly came up with an idea that all the corals are dying. So let me take all the food from my father's restaurant, like at the end of the day, and throw it into the water because they are not getting enough food. So this was a very small idea. This was a very small idea which was shared during her science class in the school. So you know what the teacher had done? The teacher had taken this idea to the principal of the school. Okay, sir, there is a little girl like who has this like weird idea of throwing all the food into the water. The principal, instead of ignoring the word of this child, conveyed this idea to the government of Australia, like Department of Marine Sciences in Australia, that there is a girl in my school, like who's trying to say, let's throw away all the leftover food from the restaurants into the water so that the corals can eat. The Department of Marine Science did not ignore the words of this little girl. So I know the girl personally. Her name is Stella Scobart, and she's now in class 12, like doing in her high school, and we are still in touch. So Stella Scobart's idea was taken up by the Ministry of this Marine Sciences, the Department of Marine Sciences in Australia, and they came up with a solution called the reef balls, like where they had actually created artificial coral reef structures, like where the coral could colonize, and they infused those coral structures with leftover food from the restaurants from the Australian hotels and restaurants. So you see, the first thing for empowerment, like when we are trying to empower the youth, is to listen to them, what their ideas are, and not to ignore them and take them very seriously. And the other thing is that we have to give them directions. Like we have faced certain pitfalls in our life. we have to give them the correct directions, and we have to guide them in such a way that they are empowered in a better way. I'll give you another example. There was a climate strike, like after Greta Thunberg had started her climate strikes, some youth, some fantastic students of Guwahati, they also wanted to do a climate strike near Digholi Pukuri, right? They had a climate strike over there. They were screaming like, we want climate justice and all. So I went there just to have a feel of how the climate strike is going on, because I'm very much concerned about environment and conservation myself. So I randomly went over there and asked some of the young people coming from the colleges that, why are you here? You know what they said? Someone said, I'm here because my friends are here and we are having a nice time, right? The others told me, like, when I asked them that you're screaming about Diporbil and wetlands over here, like it's a fantastic thing, like I really like your posters, right? And then I asked them, like, do you know anything about the Wetland Protection Act and how you should approach the government to do something which is really lucrative and which can really be done, implemented, some ideas? They said, sir, what is the Wetland Protection Act? So you see, like, we have to create a structure like for the empowerment of the youth, where academics, action plan, execution, and documentation goes hand in hand. Like, we have to empower them in every way possible. We have to create that space. I'll give you another example. Like, I'm a very different kind of a teacher. Like, when I step into the classroom, I never tell them that I'm here to teach you this chapter. I think that's a very wrong concept from a teacher. So when I step into the classroom, I would rather tell them, okay, I have this fantastic topic. Let's learn something together today. So once the approach is changed, see, I'm doing the same thing, but I've changed the approach. So the students feel I'm also a part of the learning process right from the very first day. I'm not a person who's going to dictate assignments, but I'm going to be the person who's going to be there with the system, like there with them. You have to handhold the youth. You have to give them the correct direction. You have to create the opportunities of expression.
And that's I think we all need this. So I was thinking that you will say the first example, as you have said. I was thinking that no. I was thinking that no. Someone said no. The principal would not listen. The teacher would not listen. But that's a completely opposite, and that's what I like.
Yes.
That yes, oh yes, we should think in a positive way. We always think in a negative way. Like
See, we don't have enough like talk shows or discussion
yes,
forums.
sir.
Like, why can't we create a weekend discussion forum like every day, right?
Mhm.
When, like, every weekend, like, where we are discussing about the various ideas about the Guwahati city. Like, why can't we create such an opportunity? Like, these are certain things which we can easily do, isn't it?
I think so. That's I think the community. You know about the communication skills. The students, the generation now, and the older people. There's a gap between them. There's a much gap between them. If someone says, the older people says, you have to listen to this thing, you have to listen to this thing and all, the new generation will say, no, that's not for our, that have a kind of attitude. So this generation gap is really not helping the new generation to know about the environment. Very few of today's generation know about the environment and the thing about environment. So I think we can move in the next question. So,
Yes.
so what India should do for the youth empowerment, sir?
See, India first should create the platforms where the youth can come together, like, quite often, and brainstorm on ideas, right? This thing happens in the city of Guwahati, right? This thing happens also, like, I've seen it happen in Kolkata and in the city of Mumbai also, like, where you'll have a fantastic gathering of youth, and they're trying to discuss on some random topics. Like, they just pick up some random topics and start discussing about what can be done about it. Like I attended a very interesting youth forum, like, which was happening one of the restaurants, the leading restaurants of Guwahati. Like I just happened to, like one of my student invited me over there, and we were having a random discussion about like how to create like cycling lanes in the city of Guwahati, right? And what can be done, like which areas to tackle. So we got hold of like students of engineering, like civil engineering, the students of mechanical engineering, the students who are architects, like who are designers, and students who are really passionate about cycling, right? Even people who manage the cycling workshops in the city of Guwahati. So it was a very fruitful gathering, and a lot of ideas have come up from there. So I think India, the first thing again is to create the platform where the youth can meet frequently and discuss about certain topics. It happens in the other countries, and there has to be some kind of implementations in that. Like I've seen the youth of Australia and US, and also in the cities of London in UK. Like they meet, they brainstorm on certain ideas, they find out the means to raise funds, and they start implementing those ideas. I know that there are hundreds and thousands of constraints, like when you want to implement an idea in India. But let's create a platform first where we are listening to the youth, right? And like when you are saying that there's a generation gap and we are finding it difficult to communicate with the youth, there will always be this generation gap. Today's youth, they are born in the digital age, right? Like when parents come to me and complain that, sir, mera ladka book nahi padhta hai, like they are not reading books at home, right? So my first question to the parent is like, aap kabhi kitab padhte hai kya? Like, do you read books yourself? See, I started drawing like from a very early age because I was seeing my mom doing painting in one room, and I'm seeing my dad doing photography, developing photographs in the other room. So invariably, there is an inherent interest in me to pick up a piece of paper and some sketch pens and start drawing. So once you do it yourself, so this is again like when it comes to empowerment of the youth in India, first we create a platform where they can meet frequently and brainstorm on ideas. Next thing is we should find out the means to recognize their ideas. We should find the means to give them a platform where they can make their ideas and convert them into reality. Let's give that platform and let's see what happens, right? I think that is the first step. The next thing is to like forget. We'll have to forget. See, when it comes to environment, we have to forget that we are the youth from Guwahati or we are the youth from Mumbai and everything, because climate change is hitting hard almost at every corner of India, right? So it's a countrywide problem. It's a nationwide problem. So there is also something like the youth from every city, every corner of India, like should come into one cohesion. Like they should be wind up into one cohesive force, and then only we can move ahead. I think that is the first step.
So we have a question actually.
Yes.
So this question is about okay. The question is, only men or youth or only women, which one do you think should be encouraged?
Yes, it's a very like very nice question.
Yes.
And I think like men and women, like the moment we are asking questions like this and we are defining that there is a sector called men and women, like we are actually creating a divide between them. So let's not call them men and women anymore, because I think like we have matured enough, and there is a common space where there is actually no difference between a girl and a boy and a man and a woman. So what a man is capable of doing, the woman is capable of doing it, right? So I think that inequality has to be eliminated from the mind at any cost, and let's approach. So again, I'll give you an example. So I was there was a really naughty boy in my class, like who is not paying attention to anything which I'm saying. He's not doing any assignments and all. So like he said, then I asked him a question like, why do you think you should study, right? So he said, he gave me a very like honest but a very Very nice answer. Like, sir, when I'll take my girlfriend to a date, I want to pay the bill from my own pocket, right? But this is when I stepped in and I said that abhi batao, like now tell me, like why should the girls study? So this is yours. Like you are paying your bill for your girlfriend. So why should the girls study, right? So they said, sir, I don't have any idea. I said the girls should study because when you are paying the bill, the 50% of the bill should be paid by the girl, right? So if you are going out on a date, like do not like empower your girlfriend by just paying the entire bill. Instead, split the bill 50-50 and let both of them pay the bill, but the money should come from your own pocket and not the pocket of your parents. So you have to take yourself to that stage when there is no discrimination between a boy and a girl, and you are all equal. So I think when it comes to empowerment, like let's not think about like who's a girl or a boy. Like we are on the same platform now. Like when we stand like this and think about this COVID-19 pandemic. Like, did the virus discriminate between women and men? Like when you are affected all over the world. So nature doesn't discriminate. So why should we?
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So the last question for today's session, I think. Yes, it's already time, so it's the last question. Yes. Is youth empowerment the only key to sustainable life? To a sustainable life, sir?
Yes. So I think like you are quite right. Like it is true, youth empowerment means like we are actually tackling the class of people like who are going to be the future of our planet, right? And when it comes to sustainability, I think the youth can take the decisions, like right from the fashion that they use, the current fashion or the clothes that they are wearing, to the technology that they are going to use for empowerment in future. So the youth plays a very important role in joining almost anywhere, in any sector. The youth has the ultimate power, like to give their decisions, to implement their ideas, and come up with some collective solutions to all the local and global problems. So I think youth empowerment is the first step to sustainability. Like by sustainability, we again, like whenever we speak about sustainability, like we speak about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. See, the sustainability is not limited to only those goals. Like your life itself could be sustainable. See, now we are having this fantastic conversation, and thanks to Energy again, like it has created such a platform where we could brainstorm on some ideas. Like this is a fantastic Sunday evening where we are having such a conversation about youth empowerment, like which has never happened before. I think like this is the first of its kind, like talk which we are having in the city of Guwahati. So even this is sustainability, right? To initiate a conversation, to initiate a platform where some conversations happen, like some ideas get expressed, some decisions can be made, like from these ideas. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, do you want to convey to the youths of today's generation something from your heart, so that they are watching you, and I think they love to watch you and they want to meet you, because some of them are messaging me that it's a really nice webinar session today.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you like it.
Yes, sir. So can you please convey something to the today's generation, sir?
I think the first message is like to be realistic and always be true to your own self. Like you all know about your own limitations in life, and we all have certain limitations in our own lives, right? There is not something wrong, like in not having certain skill sets, right? If you are unable to write an answer in your examination papers, does that mean that you are not talented? Right? See, we are all facing, like throughout our lives, like we have been facing just one question paper which is given to the entire class, and we are made to write the answers. See, life is not about writing the answers in your examination papers, right? You try to express yourself the way you want, but always think about something that there has to be some kind of impact analysis in life. Whatever you do, whatever actions you do, it should not bring in a negative impact in your life and in the life of the others. It should always be positive. Let's think about positive, because we are all born with certain skill sets. And when we end this conversation, like, close your eyes for 5 minutes and try to identify the best self of yourself. We are all wonderful people. We are all born with multiple talents, and let's enjoy the life and think positively to move ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. You also motivated me to think positive in a positive way. So thank you so much. I'm eager to meet you, sir. Let's see.
Anytime.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
let's create a platform where, like, I would request Energy to, like, create some physical platforms where we can discuss more about ideas, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, so thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Here we end our today's session. We sincerely appreciate Mr. Biswajeet Desa for taking out time from your busy schedule to provide us with such valuable information and a positive webinar session. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.